Today on Animal Outtakes, we're talking about therapy dogs versus service dogs.
Is there any place he is not allowed to go on?
What's the difference, and how can we tell? See how therapy animals, large and small, are making people smile.
Close the door.
And
There.
meet some amazing dogs saving lives on a daily basis.
Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm your host, Marsha Panuce. Having a pet by your side can be a comfort, but service and therapy animals have a higher calling. Today we'll see the varying ways animals of all shapes and sizes are helping people live their best lives. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Susie, we're here with your best friend and certainly ours, Carson. Carson is part of a group of dogs.
Absolutely. He's a guide dog, which falls under the umbrella of a service dog. So every guide dog is a service dog, but not every service dog can be a guide dog.
Susie Wilburn knows about guide dogs. She's been legally blind since 2008 and relies on Carson, her seeing eye dog, to be her eyes for her. In fact, she's made helping others with vision impairments her life's work by pairing them with service dogs just like hers.
So we work really hard all the way from our genetics and reproduction department that creates our wonderful guide dogs, all the way up through their training as puppies and into their harness training. And then once they're placed with the students, the training the student goes through.
One aspect of that training is an education on the Americans with Disabilities Act. Under the eyes of the law, a service animal is any guide dog, signal dog, or other animal trained to provide assistance to someone with a disability.
One of the easiest things to consider when you have a service dog is any place that the public is allowed to enjoy, whether it be an establishment or a restaurant or a park, any place that the public's invited, a service dog has the right to be at with their handler. If it's not a service dog, they don't have that same access.
Service dogs like Carson sometimes get confused with therapy dogs, which aren't granted the same rights.
Now, when you talk about a therapy dog, that is a completely different category, and they don't have any access rights. They have to have the permission of the establishment to enter. And usually you'll see those in hospitals where they have a therapy dog program where they know that the dog is a well-behaved, well-trained therapy dog, but they don't have to let them in by law. They allow them just for comfort.
Now, the therapy dog is distinguished by what?
The biggest difference, a service dog has been trained to perform a task, a specific task, to mitigate a disability. A therapy dog, an emotional support animal, they don't have to have any training whatsoever. That's a huge thing. So if you're out in the public and you see a dog, maybe somebody's carrying it in their purse and it's not well behaved, it likely isn't trained, which means it's likely not a service dog.
Sure.
And that's big. Carson has to be well behaved. You should not be distracted by my service dog. You should not know he's there.
Now, sometimes we see, certainly in public places, Susie, that they will have a vest on them, and that vest will say, service dog. Is that to be believed or not?
Unfortunately, right now, you can go online and purchase service dog identification that's not legitimate.
Are there any repercussions when you're caught?
Well, interestingly enough, in Florida, we just passed legislation that makes it a second-degree misdemeanor to misrepresent your pet as a service animal. So if you go to an establishment and you're found that that dog is not a legitimate service animal, you can be fined, you can be required community service, and you have a second-degree misdemeanor on your record. I'm glad that they're taking it seriously. Some other states have adopted the same legislature, so it's moving across the country. It just needs to go a little faster.
If you think your dog would make a good therapy animal, there are some fantastic organizations available to help guide you through the certification process.
They have the standards in place, and they help you through the whole process, and they make sure that your dog is actually qualified and appropriate for that kind of work. Because everybody loves a cute puppy, but if the puppy isn't comfortable, really, do you want to take your dog and make them sit through that kind of situation?
You know, Carson has been down here, I guess, just rather unobtrusive, which you say is a good thing. How much does Carson mean to you in your life?
That's a question that's hard to answer. The way I would tell someone is if you came to me today and said, we can fix your eyes, this is your one shot in life, you have to give us Carson, I would send you away. I would not hesitate. He is my life. Besides my husband, he has the biggest piece of my heart. He saves my life every day. And how can I say that about anything? How does that transfer to words what he means?
Guide dogs, hearing dogs, mobility and medical alert dogs, as well as psychiatric service dogs, all fall under the category of service dogs. They are not considered pets under the eyes of the law, since they perform necessary tasks in service to their owners. While the majority of these service animals are dogs, there is a provision allowing for properly trained miniature horses to be considered service animals as well. On a warm morning in Mayaca City, Florida, some school children are getting a unique lesson.
So we use that brush first when we groom the horses, right?
These students are learning about how to take care of the school's miniature horses. Just a few of the therapy animals that call Ave Maria Preparatory School home.
We have a rabbit named Marshmallow, the 4 mini horses. We have Paquita, Joey, Cloud, and Piffy. Those are mini horses. We have Arky here. We have 2 indoor cats, Star and Halo. And we have our goat and our sheep, Selma and Louise. You're okay, Marshmallow.
Sister Claire oversees the program, while teachers like Faith Hufford use the program to help ground her students.
Yes, we use it on their whole bodies.
Is this what it's all about here at Ave Maria?
Yes, we like to use pet therapy to help the students and the faculty kind of let their worries drift away and enjoy the moment of life. One day a week, each class, we like to have pet therapy where each class can go out and interact with the animals.
So what you're telling me is that the animals are looking forward to seeing those children.
Oh yes, because they also get lots of treats.
The school's director, Sister Gilchrist, started the pet therapy program a year ago and is already seeing results.
A lot of our children come with social skills problems, trouble relating to other people, trouble trusting. And we're finding that through the animals, they're, let's say, more sensitive to relationships than they were before.
The school is designed exclusively for students with special learning needs, like autism, attention deficit disorder, anxiety, and bipolar disorders.
More and more children are being diagnosed with bipolar than ever before, schizophrenia, explosive disorders, and I really see the animals as essential to helping with those features our children have to deal with.
How rewarding is this to you? When you go to bed at night, you say your prayers, how rewarding?
Well, the animals are part of, the entire program. It's rewarding. I think about, I'm always thinking about what we should be doing differently for some child, and are they all getting what they need? Being with the animals and that mutual feedback they get, it is comforting, very comforting.
Most of the animals have been donated, and Faith believes that this program is as good for them as it is for her students.
I think it's wonderful because it gives animals that might have had a not so good life or future a wonderful place to live and be taken care of and have lots of attention and interaction. I think they benefit just as much as the children do from each other.
So it does beg the question, Faith, who rescued who?
Exactly, who rescued who? Still trying to figure that one out.
Still ahead on Animal Outtakes.
When I pair one of these dogs with a person, it's an amazing transformation that takes place in their life.
Meet some of the people who have been impacted by these guardian angels. But first, llamas, how these unique creatures are making lives better.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dante's Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dante's Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dante's Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
I'd like you to meet my new best friend, the Kissing Bandit. This is Bling. Bling is a 10-month-old Chihuahua mix and the sweetest little girl that you would ever want. She loves to play ball. She loves to cool her paws in the pool. And she's just the best kisser. Bling is looking for a very good forever home. She had a tough beginning. She was found in a vacant apartment with no food and no water for about 3 days. And she survived. And then she came to Dante's Den, where we fattened her up a little bit and we gave her some water. And she has just thrived. Good job, good job. And she is the perfect dog. She loves other dogs, she loves people, and she's just the best.
Here you are.
It's not every day you see a llama in a park, but today it's a different story. Kathy Wilbanks and her crew are giving a talk about their llamas, who just so happen to also be therapy animals.
Now we understand that you over here, yes, you do pet therapy. How did you train him to do something so wonderful like that?
Well, we just started taking our llamas out into public and then taking them into tighter places. My mother ended up being in an assisted living, and we would take her guinea pigs and their rabbits in. Well, when we got llamas, my daughter says, I want to bring my llama. And the nursing home let the llamas come in, and that's what started it. And then we started going bed to bed. This is Serendipity. That's the name of the llama.
Unlike service animals, the majority of which are dogs with some exceptions, any animal can be a therapy animal so long as they are well behaved. Paintball Pete and Serendipity have been known to travel to nursing homes and hospitals visiting patients.
What is the expression of people who are usually used to seeing small dogs coming in for therapy, and in comes this majestic creature?
They love it. They're shocked, but llamas are nice because they will reach over, they will touch them. They have prehensile lips and only bottom teeth, so they're very, very gentle. They'll rub their hair, they'll caress their noses, their cheeks, and so they know when someone isn't feeling good. For some reason, Pete attached himself to this little lady, and he walked over there and he was kissing her and rubbing her hair. He'd kiss her nose, and after about 5 minutes, my daughter said, Pete, we got to visit other people. Well, every time Pete saw that woman, he drug her back over. And he did it like 5 times. And the director goes, Kathy, do llamas know when people aren't long for this world? And I said, no, I don't think so. He said, well, I think you're wrong, because Debbie, the head charge person for the Alzheimer unit, said that the llama, that the lady was just placed into hospice care. And then Debbie called me 3 days later. She passed away.
Llamas are native to South America and are related to camels and alpacas. They can grow to be up to 6 feet tall and weigh over 400 pounds. They're social animals, living in herds like Kathy's with more than 20 llamas.
You have to have two. They're companion animals. They either have to have something to guard and then that'll be their friend, or they have to have another llama. They'll die of loneliness.
Besides their unique look, llamas have a lot of interesting features, like their feet. They have a padded foot with 2 large toenails. And check out their big eyes, all the better to see everything with.
Llamas can see 360 degrees. Their eyes are out far enough. So they don't see clearly, but they see movement. So they're forever looking. They can see behind them any motion, and they're just wonderful creatures. They have a big soul, which you can see through their eyes.
Kathy says these curious creatures captured her heart, and she can't imagine life without them.
We've had llamas now for 17 years, and I tell people when I'm 80 years old, I'll still have llamas. Llamas are incredible. Oh, he loves.
Coming up on Animal Outtakes,
Did you ever think that a dog would change your life like this?
I honestly don't know what my life's like without her.
meet the service dogs that are making a big impact on the lives of those in need.
And now it's time for Tales from Dante's Den.
Turbo, the Dachshund, is just under a year old, but it hasn't been the best life so far.
Turbo's owners lived in an apartment, and they moved. However, they didn't take Turbo with them.
Left abandoned with no food or water, it was days before a local rescue picked her up.
The neighbors actually had heard her crying over there in the apartment, and that's how she was found.
Now, Turbo has made her way to Dante's Den, and her past life doesn't seem to have fazed her at all.
We found a little miniature dachshund who loves life, is full of energy, loves everybody, kids, adults, other dogs. She's a great little dog. She likes to run, she likes to play. She does like to go out to the pool, but she's not a huge swimmer like some of our other dogs are. And chase the ball and play ball. She just loves everybody. She so much wants to be close to everybody and in everybody's lap. And she may be small and have these short little legs, but if you're sitting in a chair, she will be in your lap in seconds flat. She's just an extremely sweet and loving dog.
Bow, through, good boy. Very
This
good.
is not your typical obedience class.
Good. Ooh, excuse me.
These dogs are training for a higher purpose. They're training to be heroes.
So it's always good to have them used to, because people are going to not see them because they're supposed to be invisible.
When I pair one of these dogs with a person, it's an amazing transformation that takes place in their life. Not only does their whole life change, but in many cases, we've had dogs that have actually saved their lives.
Garrel Borden is the founder and executive director of the nonprofit group Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs. Since 2010, her organization has helped pair hundreds of dogs with people with disabilities and special needs, improving their lives. The process starts with a puppy and a simple command.
This is Whiskey. He's one of our 13-week-old puppies, and he's already started his training. So he has to say hello. They don't run right out and get right into work mode when they're that age, and that's okay because we make everything fun.
He is a German Shepherd. Can you sit? Very good, sit. Can I show him how we do paws? You want to do paws?
One of the things that we teach all of our dogs, all the different service dog skills that we teach, the one thing that is consistent is teaching them to do a command we call paws, where they put their front feet up on a chair or a couch or the end of the bed to make it simple for the disabled recipient to put their vest on and off.
Whiskey, here, read paws. Good, paws, very good. Very good. Such a good puppy.
That simple command is the first of many that will come in handy for the person who will end up paired with one of these dogs.
Right, go close the door. Hey, close the door. There, that's with gusto. That was with more gusto. Light. Good. And we use touch lamps, so it's easier for them. Make it brighter. Good. Good job. All right, that's pretty bright. That'll work. Can you turn it off? One more time. Turn it off. Oh, you missed.
Once trained, Carol's staff helps pair these dogs with people who desperately need them. Like Jake Little, a teenager whose genetic disorder keeps him in a wheelchair. He was paired with Jubilee just a month ago.
Jake, would you say that Jubilee is your best friend?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Easily.
Can you remember what your life was like before her?
I mean, I didn't have the confidence to use my wheelchair.
And now?
Well, when I get to use my wheelchair, I always have the feeling that someone's here to help me and stuff. And I can't even imagine what it will be like, because she's not even fully trained yet. She'll learn to pull my wheelchair and like give me independence and retrieve stuff with me, which would be really nice.
We can tell from the moment she, laid her eyes on Jake that her purpose was set. When she puts on her vest, she is so excited and so full of life, and she just wants to serve.
Casey Kelly's dog Nitro has been by her side for over a year now, helping her overcome her battle with bipolar disorder and anxiety.
Prior to getting Nitro, I wouldn't leave the house at all.
What does Nitro do for you in a day's time?
He is with me all the time, and if he catches that I'm getting nervous or fixing to have a panic attack, he can draw my attention away.
So he anticipates.
He can tell the changes in my behavior and of my different scents I make, and he will get my attention to focus on him instead of everything around me that's stressing me out.
Your panic attacks, since Nitro has been in your life, have decreased?
Oh yeah. I used to have these almost daily, and now it's maybe once a month, and they're not nearly as severe.
Emma, you have Bo as your best friend.
Yes.
What was life before him?
Every day was a battle. It was terrifying. It was just living in a state of total fear all the time.
So what do you do now in a day's time with Bo?
We go to school together. We're attending an art class now. We go to the mall. We just got back from Disney, a week of vacation. He's been with me to the hospital even during those not so fun times, and he's always there, always by my side, ready to help.
Is he always looking for you?
Yeah, I can't go anywhere without him.
If you turn a corner, is he right there?
Yep.
Yeah?
He's right by my side.
Rudy, this is your best pal, Xena. How long has she been with you?
I've actually had Xena since April this year.
And how did your life change when she came into it?
It's been a wonderful adventure.
Did you ever think that a dog would change your life like this?
I honestly don't know what my life's like without her. She's just an extension of me. There's no other way to put it. If I'm there, she's there. If I need her, she comes looking for me.
So why, Carol? Why are you so passionate about this. And what made you do this?
When you see the results, when you see people's lives change, they can do things that they couldn't do. It's amazing.
We'll be right back. Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
That's it for this episode of Animal Outtakes. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the different kinds of service and therapy animals and how they are an important tool to people with disabilities. Join us again next week for another outstanding animal adventure. We'll see you then.
Elvira, I'm thirsty. Could you bring me a bottle of water? No, I don't want a toy. I want a bottle of water. Thank you. Good job. Good job. I'm hungry too. Could you bring me a box of food? Go bring me a box of food. Hurry. Go bring me a box of food. Thank you. Good job. Good job. But you know what? All the cold air is getting out of the refrigerator. You better go close the door. Close the door. Hurry. Thank you. Should finish your treat first.